Alright. Hey guys. So, this is Nick. And I'm going to do a new series on my channel where it's just going to be me playing one of my favorite games, Terraria. Like once a week this whole 2025. I started a little bit late. It's January 18th of recording this. But I just want to use this as like a little bit of a, video journal, I guess. I just want to be able to look back on this and see how 2025 went. So I'm going to just be saying what's going on in my life while I'm just playing some Terraria, man. It's going to be pretty sick. Now, I personally like corruption. Actually, see, okay, I don't know. I'm going to do corruption for my buddy Liam. You know, he probably will be watching this. I love that guy. And he loves corruption, so we're going to do corruption for him. Yeah. Alright, so, I will just start off by saying, I'm going to try to keep a consistent schedule. I'm going to try to make it consistent, but I can't guarantee anything. And I'm not exactly sure which class I want to play. I played this game so much as a kid, and it's like easily one of my favorite games of all time. I remember like going to fucking I remember not wanting to go to soccer practice because I wanted to play this game. And I remember taking my iPad in 3rd grade and playing it on during recess, and it was 20 degrees outside, and recess got canceled from the outside, and a bunch of people would be watching over my shoulder while I'm killing a wall of flesh. That's a true story. It's a true story that happened. And at the time, the wall of flesh, it was the only thing that was like, it was like the final boss of the game on the phone. Man, simpler times. And it's crazy to think that I'm in college now. I'm 19. I'm gonna be 20 this year. Really growing up. It just makes you, it's cool to think about. My guide's name is Trent. What's up, Trent? I think I already said I'm playing on master mode. But yeah, so it might be, it might be a little bit difficult. And I think I said this too. I'm not great at making videos. This is a new thing. But I do want to do Summoner. The class I want to do is Summoner. Just because I love Summoner. And they added a bunch to it. Not recently, but I think they're going to come up with an update soon. I don't know. They've said, like, the past 4 updates that they're going to be the last update, and then they just keep adding on. But I'm not complaining. I fucking love Terraria. So, I mean, what's going on in my life? Actually, quite a lot. The past month has just been an incredible growth in myself. And I wrote a few notes, so, let me pull those out. And it's crazy to see how far I've come from 2024. And I would consider 2024 one of the worst years of my life, as just a lot of things really happened and just really horrible, and, it's pretty sad. But I think, like, in 2024, because I had such a, horrible mindset and such a, I had a very big victim mentality that I really haven't, like, addressed to myself. But I did. And, I would be like, wow, my brain's a curse because I have ADHD and everything, and, it's fucking, I just got dealt a bad hand. And I don't think that could be further from the truth. Yeah, I mean, I struggle with shit, but doesn't everybody? And, I don't know, I think that's an important thing to note. I remember, again, I want to give myself a bit of slack because it was a really, awful time for me. But I would, over the summer, which I was looking for, I don't know, how do you pronounce that? I was really looking forward to it. Yeah, that's it. During the school year. And it just didn't, the summer, I had such high expectations. And looking back now, I had a pretty incredible summer. But I was just in such a bad mindset that, I would just be angry and mad about so much things. Like, I was in a pretty horrible long-distance relationship, and that was, like, the biggest thing that mattered to me. Looking back, it was pretty stupid. happens to everybody. And through all of that, it was just, like, because of the long-distance relationship not being how I wanted it, and, you know, I was working 40 hours a week, and I'm not going to say where I work because that would actually just completely give me away and everything. I mean, I'm not, like, worried about that, but, you know, it's just not something I want to give out right now. But while I was working, I just despised my coworkers, and I really hope they're not watching this. I really doubt they are. And I didn't, like, you know, hate them because, you know, XY reason. I just, like, again, I was in such a horrible mindset that, like, going to work and working with these people I don't really like that much, like, it literally was, like, the worst thing that could happen to me. And I'm so happy I'm out of that mindset now. But, I mean, it really is, like, dictated my life for so long. What's up, worm? You know? And so, you know, the summer was pretty shitty. And it just wasn't, I think what made it so much more shitty is I had, you know, the high expectations. I'm, like, repeating myself already, but, you know, I'll get better. And after the summer, and I went back to school and everything, and it started off really well, but the bad habits that I picked up from the summer, and at this point I was out of the long-distance relationship because, you know, I got cheated on. Happens to the best of us, you know. It is what it is. I might talk about that more in a different video. I don't know. It was a pretty important thing in my life. But I got cheated on, and she, you know, did it with one of my best friends at the time. And we definitely had a falling out after school ended. We just didn't talk to each other anymore, and a lot of things were just unresolved. Okay, I'm gonna die. Ooh, okay. I'm good. And so, because of that, it was just, you know, it was just a very growth-heavy part in my life where I knew something had to change. So, all of, I'm not sure why not, dude. I'll get wood armor. All of fall term, and my terms on trimesters, I was, you know, like, I was doing my homework and everything, and then I was just trying to learn how to love myself because, again, more context, the person that I dated, she was really like a heavy impact on my friend group at college. So when she cheated on me, she just, you know, you know, everyone's side of the story is different, but she told a bunch of people other stuff, but she lied to all those friends that I had and said that I was on a break. We were on a break when she, you know, cheated on me. And even if, you know, I don't, you know, it doesn't really make it much better, in my opinion, specifically because, like, the one thing I did say was just, you know, don't, you know, have sex with that guy. And that guy, like, that was, like, literally, like, I was very insecure. And that was one of the biggest things that I said because of my insecurities, is I was so intimidated by this guy because he could hang out with her and I couldn't, that I let my own insecurities, you know, dictate that relationship. And it wasn't going to work out no matter what, and I recognize that. But that was a huge part on where I had to learn about the relationship and about myself before I could get into another one, you know? And so we broke up and everything, and then they dated for a while. I don't think they're dating anymore. Not that it really matters. But, you know, so they went to the friend group first, as the whole time I was trying to be, like, a bigger person, and the biggest mentality I had at the time was I wanted to have the idea that I can't control the situation, but I can control how I react to it. So how I reacted to it was when I got back to, I live in Oregon, and it's not a big deal. When I got back to Oregon, you know, we met up and we exchanged the stuff again, and, you know, she pet my cat Mulch and everything. I love that guy. He's sleeping in my bed right now. And like we hung out for like an hour, and it was just like to talk about shit. And I told her that, you know, I wasn't really gonna tell all the other people because I just didn't think it was necessary, and I didn't want to like ruin her friendship with those people. And like that was a big part of it for me, is I just didn't like. Yeah, I got fucked up so bad, but it wasn't okay for me to then get revenge, you know? Like, what does that say about me if I, you know, instantly just go out and, like, you know, spread rumors, even though the rumors are true, but just to make them look bad while I look like the victim. And I don't want to be the victim. But at the time, I not sorry, I wanted to be the victim at the time, and I'm a much different headspace now. Again, January, and this was around September, mid-September. And so then I heard through the grapevine that they were telling a bunch of people just completely different shit and lies about me, and you know, then all my old friends from back in the, you know, back of the school year before, I'm a sophomore now, that they hated me because of it. Like my huge friend group that I had, it wasn't, you know, it's not huge, but the friend group that I had got shifted so massively just because, you know, like I didn't have any friends really. Like I had friends, but like I didn't have a friend group. Like I have some incredible friends out here now. Again, more context. I live in Indiana. Like I'm originally from Indiana, but I want to be a marine biologist, and there's not a lot of marine bio in Indiana. So, you know, a little bit more context. And so with that happening, I just kind of was isolating myself, and I, you know, I'm on Adderall because, you know, ADHD is a bitch, and it's kind of hard to focus without it. So, like with Adderall, one of the biggest like symptoms that I get from it is I get really antisocial, and that held even more present fall term. And a big thing that I was doing fall term was I was learning how to love myself. So I was just doing more shit that, like, I was trying to define myself. I was just trying to figure out who I was. Because, again, looking back on it now, is I had such a horrible opinion on myself. Wow. First death, that's okay. I had such a horrible opinion about myself, however, that I, like, needed validation from other people. And I wasn't getting that because I didn't have very many friends, or really any at all. Okay, again, I keep saying that, but I very much had friends. Just not, like, people I consistently hung out with. Which, none of their faults or anything. If anything, it's on me for not, you know, keeping around. Yeah. And so, through all of that... Okay, hold on. Gotta lock in for a second. I just, you know, kind of started to struggle, or, you know, succumb to depression. And, like, it was weird because I was doing shit for me, and I was becoming, like, a lot more independent, and because it's my first time living alone and everything, I live alone in an apartment, and I was becoming very independent and just trying to figure out, like, what's going on with my life, and, like, what do I want to do, and what do I like, and all of that. These zombies. These motherfucking zombies. And I was just going through a very, very growth-heavy part of my life. And I say that, but I also wasn't really changing. And I'd like, during the time, I was like, wow, I'm changing so much. Second death, these zombies are messed up. Like, I say, you know, I'm gonna do elevator. I don't want to do a elevator with copper. It's fine, we'll find a cave. And, so I was, you know, trying to figure out who I was, and I was trying to grow, and I was putting in a lot of work on growth, right? I was trying to figure out who I was. How do I play this game? Hold on. I just have to... I probably will cut this out. What was I even talking about? I recorded this too, right? Okay, cool. Controls. Where was I? So I was trying to grow, and I was doing the right things to grow. I was doing shit for myself, and I was spending a lot more time by myself. But my thinking was in a really, really horrible part. And my thinking was the biggest issue that I faced. And by that, I don't know if a lot of people experience this, because, you know, everyone just thinks differently. And the way my thinking went is I would just constantly was invaded by horrible, horrible thoughts. And it would be a lot about, you know, the betrayal of my friend and my ex, and how it's just so awful, and my thinking was just so bad that I didn't realize how much damage it was actually causing to me. And I think once, okay, I watched a bit of a side tangent, but I watched a YouTube video recently called "Killing Your Consciousness," or "The Urge to Kill Your Consciousness," and it's by J-Reg. He's a really cool YouTuber. You guys should check out that video. You know, I'll put in the description. Why not? And it's an incredible video. Like, I never realized that I had such an urge to silence out my own brain till I saw that video. And that video just, you know, he's talking about playing Balatro. Great game, by the way. He's just talking about how, you know, he likes to play Balatro and watch YouTube and, you know, drink or get high and just doing all these things in your own head instead of letting your brain think. And looking back, I was addicted to that. I mean, that was such a huge thing that I was doing, and I'm embarrassed to say it now, but I was getting high almost every day, if not every day, and it was like 100% an addiction that I didn't really recognize that I had, because in my head it was just something that I needed to do, because I couldn't deal with the thoughts that I had. You know, I was just, to me, it was I either smoke weed and control my thoughts in a much, like, healthier way, you know, quote-unquote healthier there, or I, you know, don't smoke weed and I'm just invaded by constant depression, basically, and just constant, you know, this is a little extreme, but agony, you know. In my head, it really was like that, though. And I've written, like, I remember, like, journaling one day after a really bad day, and, like, the smallest things would just set me off. And I was taking 18 credits, so I was, you know, I was pretty swamped in work, but, you know, I would get it done. And it was probably, like, week 6 of the term, week 6, week 7, and I was, like, I couldn't sleep that well because, you know, Mulch was a kitten at the time, still is, so he's still kind of he's a little bit of a rascal, but we love him. And, you know, editor, who is me, put a photo of Mulch on. And so Mulch, he, like, destroyed a plant that was a really important plant to me for some reason, because it just started blooming. Like, it just started, you know, like, it, like, lit up, like it was doing its thing. Also, this song is so good. Sorry. And so it was just blooming, and it was really cool to me to see that. And funnily enough, all the plants that I did have just died over Christmas break, so rest in peace, those plants. But, you know, Mulch knocked it over, and I had to wake, like, it was at, like, 3 in the morning. I just went back to sleep because I couldn't, you know, continue to do it. But it was just completely, the pot was broken, there was dirt everywhere. It was just such a, like, and I just started crying, you know? I just, like, literally, I just started crying because I was just so overwhelmed about this one plant that, you know, in the grand scheme of things doesn't mean jack shit. But this one plant that was, like, really keeping me together way more than I ever imagined it was, you know, and it was just gone, just like that. And Mulch doesn't know why that happened. I mean, he doesn't know the significance of that plant to me. And there was nothing. He's a cat. He's a kitten. You can't get mad at him for doing something like that. That's what cats do. And I got so angry about it. Like, I never hurt mulch or anything. I wanna clarify that right now. But I was really just so disheartened and upset about it that, like, I don't know. It was hard. It was really hard. And, like, mulch would, like, run around at, like, 3 a.m. And I literally had to, like, secure my desk in the morning. Or, before I went to bed, I would put all my stuff that could get knocked over on my desk. And I would put it in my closet so he couldn't get to it. Because, I kid you not, he still does this, Again, he's a cat. But he just, like, over the night, if he doesn't sleep through the night, he will go through my desk and he'll, like, click my keyboard. So if my PC is asleep, he'll turn on my PC and wake me up. So I have to, like, unplug my keyboard so he doesn't do that. And I have to put, like, my jars, like, I have, like, it's not a jar, it's, like, it's a pot, I guess, but I couldn't tell you. It's something, but it holds all my pencils. And, like, if I don't put it away, he's just gonna, knock it over. And I have a little dish of my jewelry. I wear rings a bit, and I like, necklaces and stuff. And he just grabs the rings with his hands, and he just, like, plays with them. And it's just funny, And stuff like that was, like, it was, like, the biggest deal to me. Like, it was something, looking back, it's so small, and I want to clarify right now, it still annoys the hell out of me. Like, I still very much get annoyed by it. But, again, he's a cat, so you can't really do much about that. Ooh, okay, there's a worm. This is bad, guys. And so, it's like the smallest thing like that just would set me over the edge. And then around this time, around week 6 to week 7, and I started off really good in the term, right? I still wasn't, like, plagued by those thoughts, so it was still, like, pretty difficult to, like, function normally, but it wasn't, like, the worst thing ever. And so during this time, I just, like, my sleep was such an issue, and I would be not constantly, but it started around mid-November, where I just started getting hives. Like, hives before I went to bed, and I would get so, like, unbelievably, like, covered in hives, and I would be so itchy, and I would just be miserable. And hold on, guys, we got a furnace. We're making it up in the world. We are making it up in the world. Iron bars, baby? Don't mind if I do. I need that iron pickaxe. Oh yeah, I need an anvil. Is it 15 for an anvil? Chat, write that down. Also, I'll just quickly do this. Where was I? I gotta remember. Hold on, sorry guys. I'm also gonna make this look better. Wow, where was I? I was talking about, oh yeah, so I was starting to get hives. And it was, like, actually awful. Like, I can't even lie, it was, like, actually so miserable. Because I would, like, wake up. Well, I couldn't sleep. So I would have to take Benadryl to go to bed. People are gonna be mad at me if I do that. God damn it, these are so many slimes. And so I would be, like, covered in hives, and it would just be pretty awful, right? So I would just take a Benadryl at, like, 1 a.m. where my hives started acting up. And then I would have, like, 8 a.m. It was, like, an 8:30. I think it was an 8:30 class. I would have an 8:30 chemistry lab. Or not chemistry lab, chemistry class. Where I, like, had to, go to and wake up and everything. But the Benadryl would make me so sleepy that I, like, literally couldn't physically get up or anything. So I just had to sleep through it. And then I would feel, like, guilt and shame about missing my class, and then I would just start to spiral. It's like one thing just it controls your life, like one little thing is what just would set me over. Like missing class, and all of that, it would just make me so, like, depressed. And, you know, I think that's fair to an extent. But I should have just also been going to class. But, I couldn't. So, but so I just wasn't getting as good as grades as I wanted to. Like, I was doing the homework, and, like, another thing that would just make me so upset is I, like, really, really tried to study. Like, in high school, I would never study because it was just, like, it would come pretty second nature to me. So I never really learned how to study, and then college happened. I'm like, okay, wait, this is actually, like, this is actually hard. You know, I actually gotta try now. I gotta do readings and shit. So I would, like, do it, but the chemistry class, the attendance was, like, 10-15% of your grade, and I knew that, but I still couldn't do much about it because it was so early. And, because of that, like, I would, do all the readings and everything, and I would study. I genuinely did study quite a bit. And like, whenever the test came around, I remember, like, I think midterms week was like week 5, so before all the hives and everything happened, and I was just, like, kind of, like, I was like, class is easy, I don't really gotta do much, I'm making do, I'm doing it, and at the time, I had, like, pretty damn good grades. I think I had, like, I want to say I had almost straight A's and, like, a B or a C. No, I didn't have any C's. It was, like, basically straight A's. And why isn't this working? Sorry. And so with all of that, I was like, this is going to be easy. I don't got to study that hard for this test. So I studied a little bit. I definitely studied a decent amount, maybe, like, 10 hours over a week, which, looking back, that's, like, an hour and a half a day. I definitely don't think that's what it is. It's like 1.2 or something. I don't know. It's 10 divided by 7. I don't know, dude. Like 1.2, whatever. I don't know if that's right. And someone's gonna fucking. I actually can't know. I can't. I don't want to know. But, like, it was just a really, really hard time. Like, I was just struggling so. I mean, I wasn't struggling at that point. That point, I was actually doing fine. Like, the only thing that was really bogging me down was my thoughts and, trying not to spiral. And so I was, like, the first tests came around. It was bio, and it was differential calculus and chemistry. And I took the chemistry exam, and I was like, I feel pretty good about that. I would do all the homework for it, so, I felt pretty good. And I was like, I feel pretty ready. I don't got to study that much. And, again, more context, and, again, looking back on this, I'm really ashamed of myself, but I was taking the differential calculus online, and instead of, like, watching any of the lectures or, like, doing any of it, I would just go the easy way out, which I know so many people do nowadays, and, I can't say that I don't, or I don't anymore. At least I try not to. But I was just using ChatGPT for most of my differential calc homework. And, obviously that didn't do anything. Like, that did not teach me anything. So, when the first test came around, I was like, shit, I don't know any of this. And I think I got, like, a 40. It was crazy. It was, like, the worst I've ever done on a test. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. That really sucks, but I can make it. I can come back. It's not over just yet. I can come back. I'm good. And what I did is I didn't really change anything. I didn't really change anything for my differential calculus class until around week 7, where I was like, okay. And I emailed the teacher, and I, like, set up a Zoom appointment. And she was like, and I'm going to give so much credit to this lady. She was truly a really good teacher and, like, so forgiving. Because around week 7 is when the second midterm happened. And hold on, this is hard. How do people do this? So the second, like, midterm came around, and that's when I emailed the teacher because I did really bad on it. And she was like, if I see any improvement, and, like, you can make up so many points on the next test. Like, all you gotta do is just, put in a little bit of effort and study a little bit, learn the concepts, and you'll be golden. You'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fine. And you know, for a little bit, I was trying to learn my stuff. But, you know, you can't, like, learn that much stuff. You can't learn, you know, 2 units or, like, however many units. You can't learn 10 weeks of differential calculus in 2 weeks before the final. And the final is what was going to make up all my grades back, right? So you can't, like, that's just not feasible. I mean, like, it is feasible if I, you know, tried harder, but I didn't. Like, I tried. Like, I definitely tried to learn the subject. And I definitely did. Like, I know a lot. I'm retaking the class now. Spoilers, I failed the class. Shocker, I know. And, like, so, you know. Where was I going with this? Hold on, let me think for a second. Oh, yeah. So, like, I studied a little bit, and then Thanksgiving break happened. And I was like, alright, I'm gonna have fun home and, you know, be with my friends and everything. And I didn't take, like, any time to study. Which, you know, huge problem there. Because I had to, like, really lock in, and, you know, put in effort. You know? And so I was trying to do that. And then Thanksgiving break happened, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna have fun with my buddies Liam and Ben and all my good pals from home. And that's exactly what I did. I had like a writing assignment that I did over Thanksgiving break, but that was about it. And I just really didn't put in nearly as much effort as I needed to get. I wish I had bombs. I didn't put nearly as much effort as I needed to pass that class. So when it came around, I distinctly remember taking that differential calc final. And at the end of it, I was like, I wrote a little note to the teacher, and I said, you know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I told her that I wrote a note, and I think it said, see you next term or something. And funnily enough, I'm not even in her class anymore. I'm taking it at a different college now. And so, you know, kind of funny. Kind of a little funny thing to write to your teacher. And, yeah, it was a bummer. And she probably thinks I'm a huge slacker, which she's not. She wasn't wrong. And so in my head, I was like, I knew after taking that final, I knew I was just going to fail that class. Like, it was just like, that was set in stone. You know, I couldn't do anything about it. My actions of fall term led to that. Like, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't putting in the effort to actually succeed, you know? So it was just, it was a kind of an eye-opening experience. Because I'm taking differential calculus now, and it's like, you know, I'm not great at math, so it's not, like, easy, but it is, I shouldn't have failed. I 100% should not have failed. Now that I'm putting in, like, a pretty decent amount of effort into it now, it's, like, it's so much different. I mean, obviously, like, I think, I still occasionally use ChatGPT. Like, I think I've used it twice, and I'm going into week 3. And, you know, that's a pretty damn good record for me, considering that I used to do it for all my homework assignments. And I would even do it with chemistry and shit, too. Like, I wasn't learning. I didn't, like, see the point of learning anything. And that was just, it's like, the crazy thing is I was just stripping away my own education, you know? And I had so much guilt from that because, you know, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm incredibly fortunate and my parents make a decent amount of money. And they're helping me so much with college and everything. And I wasn't putting in the effort to learn. You know, I'm out in college. I've moved from Indiana to Oregon, and I didn't put in any effort to learn what I had to learn. And I think this is actually kind of like, I think I just realized a lot of the things is I had so much shame, you know? Like I had so much shame, because I knew that my parents, like my dad works so hard to do everything that he does for my family. Like my dad is like true. Oh fuck, ghost. Oh shit. Why is that even there? There's two headstones, dude. That's fucked up. Whatever. But my dad puts in so much work, and he's like in like a grueling job right now. Like he hates his job right now, and I wasn't putting in any effort for him or any of my family. I just was like autopilot, and this kind of goes back into the Killing Your Subconscious video by J-Reg, and that's exactly what I was doing, you know, like verbatim. What I was doing is I hated my brain so much, and I hated being in my brain, that I was just killing my subconsciousness. I would, this motherfucking ghost, dude. Okay, whatever. I just want life crystals, man. I just want life crystals. Can I make I don't think I can make an anvil yet. But that's exactly what I was doing. I was killing my subconscious to make myself more comfortable, you know? When you have weed was the main thing that I was doing, because I don't drink or anything. Yeah, call me a square, whatever. But because I had weed, I could just, you know, skate on by. I could just, when I could smoke it, and I could just forget every problem in my life. And I didn't have to, you know, deal with any of my brain. And that was so appealing to me. Because why the hell would I want to be in my brain, you know? With everything I've been telling you guys and, you know, everything. Why would I ever want to be in my brain? So, like, with the weed, it just was so easy. And I had a cart. I called him Bart. Still got him. Don't use him that much anymore, though. And, you know, it's like, I'm really ashamed of myself from, okay, whoa, dude, come on, bro, sorry, that I was just doing that to myself. I was stripping away my chance at education, you know? Wow, that was really lucky. That was cool. Clip that, guys, clip that. And, like, it was really a powerful realization to me when I realized that I was literally my worst, like, my own worst enemy. And obviously, I mean, that makes sense with my brain and everything, you know? Like, what else would be my enemy in that situation? And it's because even with all the work that I had on hating myself, or on, like, fixing myself, and trying to figure out who I was and everything, the thing that I never, like, you know, I wasn't getting progress, because I was still just so affected by these bad habits, that were just plaguing my life, and literally making me someone that I didn't want to be, and someone that I wasn't proud to be, you know? And even though I was trying to become better, and I was putting in the effort, you know, those bad habits just stripped me away. But I needed those bad habits, you know, at that time to finally figure out what's going on. And now, this is like the big part, which is like, you know, it's like a underdog story. There we go. Here's the underdog story. There's a warning, dude. Ooh, wait, give me a. Oh shit! How am I gonna kill that guy? Oh shit! I need to kill that guy. He might draw a rally. It's a yo-yo. Yo-yos are really good in this game. Believe it or not. I literally have nothing. Wow, I am so broke. But because of all those bad habits, I was struggling, and I wasn't doing good. I wasn't working out or anything. I just wasn't doing stuff for me. Like, I knew I had to change and do stuff, so I was going to therapy and everything, and I was like, this just isn't working. You know, like, I was still living by myself, and I was still, like, doing the bare minimum. I was doing my work and everything, and, like, I was doing the bare minimum of, like, becoming better. And I described it to my buddy Ben the other day, that 2024 felt like a forest fire. It was so horrible and just awful, and, like, not much really good happen to me. And again, I'm definitely being more dramatic than I should, you know? There's definitely a lot of incredible things that happen. Like, one of my favorite trips I've ever been on is I went camping with my buddies. And it was like an incredible experience. And, you know, there's so much good stuff that happened in 2024 too. But it doesn't fit with this analogy. But because I went through all of that stuff in 2020, I was able to come out in 2024. Wow, guys, I'm gay. Sorry, like, whatever, dude. And, like, you know, use the tools that I was, like, getting slowly, in 2025. So it feels 2024 was the forest fire, and then 2025 is where I, like, from the wreckage of the fire and from the nutrients that put into the soil, because, you know, prescribed burns and all that, fire puts a lot of good stuff in the soil. I kind of just assumed everyone would understand that, but, you know, it's not like I mean, you know, everyone's different. And, like, through all of that, I was finally able to come out as someone I am proud to be. And what I didn't expect, and I was talking to my mom about this the other day, is I didn't expect how quick the change would be. So, like, right when I've gotten back to Oregon, again, going into my 3rd week, it's a Saturday right now, but going back into Oregon and, like, you know, doing what I had to do, I'm finally, like, doing what I have to do. Like, I'm studying so much more than I did. Like, I've already studied, like, more now than I have the whole fucking fall term. And you know, it's just, I'm finally someone I'm proud of. And I think that's where a lot of the self-love stuff came from. Because in the past term, I was just trying to figure out how to love myself and where to do that and everything, right? And, you know, I'm doing pretty good, right? I was doing pretty good. But it's hard to love with yourself when you feel like your brain's your enemy, right? So, you know, I was struggling with that aspect of everything, where I just couldn't process everything that was happening, and I couldn't. Ooh, there's a bat coming. Yeah, get out of here. So now, sorry, I kind of got off topic. That happens a lot. But now that I have the tools that I learned from the last term and from everything from last year, it all clicked when I got back. And granted, I'm also, like, on a bit of a higher dose of Adderall, but it's still all clicked in my head, and now I'm like, it's so weird. And there's actually, I think, a big part of why this happened is the first day of 2025, I woke up really early, and I was back home in Indiana, and I woke up really early, and my mom's a yoga instructor, and she had a yoga thing in the morning, and she was like, hey, Nick, do you want to go? And it was, like, literally, like, 9 a.m., I don't remember. And I was like, you know what? I think every single time you break a tombstone, it goes get you. I think that's the rule. Write that down. But I woke up that morning, and I was like, you know what, Mom? I will do that. And I went. And at the time, I, like, told my dad, and I told myself that I did it for my mom. And now I don't think that's true. I think I did it for myself, you know? And I think I had such a horrible idea of being selfish. Like, selfish was, like, one of the biggest things I didn't want to be. So doing stuff like that made me feel selfish. And so, you know, I was like, you know, I gotta do it for my mom. But I woke up, and if you guys don't know what a sun salutation, it's like a thing in yoga where basically you have to do, like, a push-up in the middle of it, and you gotta do, like, a plank for part of it, and it's, like, crazy. And this mother, I hate these ghosts, dude. I got lobotomized by a ghost. But we did 108 sun salutations. And again, I hadn't been working out that much at this point, so I was pretty out of shape. And I was like, it kicked my ass. Like, I was so sore the next day, and it felt good. And now I'm just at a different point, you know? And so I went and did that yoga for both my mom and me, you know? And it felt great. And it proved to myself that I could do stuff for myself, you know? What do I do about this? Well, let's just see. But it was like a really incredible thing that I was just able to figure out, like, how that works and all that. You know, it was just a really eye-opening experience, and I really did love doing it. I didn't think I was gonna like doing it, but I really did enjoy it quite a bit. And my mom's a really cool yoga instructor, you know? She did a great job. So it's you know, it's weird. And, you know, hold on, I got more stuff. Alright, now. So, now, present day, 2025. This is January 18th. Ooh, there's another. I'm dead. Yeah. Nothing I can do about that. Alright, I'm gonna go to, like, the snow biome, try to get Flink's armor, dude. F this. But now, 2025. I just said that, but, you know, I got off track. 2025. And I am now, like, with peace with my brain, if that makes sense. I know it doesn't because I didn't explain myself, like, at all, so I'm going to explain it. But now, my brain, instead, I had to condition... Okay, this is so much context. So, if you guys know, there's a word that's very popular online that I will put, like, a photo of, and it's like a, you know, I'll put, like, a definition of it, too, on the screen. It's like, I think it's just, like, an incredibly unlikable person, and it was a bit that me and my friends had, like, I can actually find the date. I'll find the date, too, of when this happened. But, so this really stupid joke, it's the C word to me now. I was just, like, using it all the time, like, as a stupid fucking joke. And what I would just, like, say it all the time, right? And my friend, Ben, he absolutely hated it. And Ben is, like, easily top 3 favorite people on this planet. So I was like, okay, I gotta change something for Ben's sake. Oh, shit. Okay. Gotta think, strategize. Oh, I could build on him, Fortnite. But, so, you know, what happened is I felt so bad for Ben about using this word and everything. I was like, alright, I'll change something. I'll just try to stop using the word. And, like, how I did it is, again, this is going to sound really dumb, but how I did it was I conditioned my brain to get it out of my system. And I don't think this is, like, the main reason why my, like, thinking changed, but I think it's funny to say it like, was part of it, because I do think it was, like, a tiny portion of it. But, like, whenever I would, like, think it or, like, say it, and, again, don't know why this works in my head, but I imagine it, how I imagine it is the thought or word in my head is, like, just, like, imagine just, like, a clump of, like butter, you know, like that consistency. And, like, each thought for some reason has, like, a different color to it. Again, I can't tell you why my brain works the way it does. But imagine that, right? And it has, like, a really... Ooh, okay. I think I just actually have to turn around. But imagine that consistency, right? And what I did is, whenever I have, like, a thought like that, I take that thought and I whip it across my imaginary brain into the wall, like, into the wall. And it always in my head, it, like, makes, like literally imagine, like, taking, like, a ball of butter and throwing it into the, you know, throwing it into against the wall. It's gonna splat, and it's gonna, like, you know, look funny and all that. So, I think whenever I have a horrible thought, and I do it with my ex now too, because as much as it sucks, I still think about it like maybe once every 3 days, and that is so much better than how it was, and it feels incredible. By the way, it like I prove to my brain that I can actually condition it and change how I think, and it's like such a good feeling. But so whenever I had that thought, I would just whip the butter across the screen, like across my brain into a wall, and the thought would just go away. And I would do that with the C word, and so my New Year's again more context. My New Year's resolution is to say it as the least amount of times as possible. I think I'm at 7 right now. I want to say I'm at 7 times right now. I'll find that in a second. I'll also put that up on screen. But so where was I going with this? So I was just trying to change how I was thinking, because I was like, my way that I was thinking was so like bad, and once I got to be friends with my brain, like that alone, like my whole everything just changed. Like all the tiny things that I was trying to do to work on myself, like a big one, for example, is I really wanted to be less judgmental, because I was a really, really judgmental person, and it was pretty upsetting. Like I would see someone on the street who's not like conventionally attractive or something, and I would in my head say something mean about them. And the thing about that, also, holy shit, this is so loud. Gotta get down here. The thing about that is, if you think of that about other people, you think that about yourself, So, because I had such a horrible, I was so judgmental, I was also judgmental to myself. And that made me, hate myself and just hate who I was. And that was obviously, why did that do 51 damage? That was a huge problem, obviously, right? You can't love yourself and then also call, someone on the side of the street, fat and disgusting, It was, in some cases it was that bad, Luckily, that's, out of my system now, and it's just completely changed. But that was a huge thing that I had to change with myself and change in my thinking. And I've known for a while that this is something that I wanted to change about myself. But because I didn't have the tools to work on my thinking, I didn't know how to, right? So I was just kind of forced to be in that type of predicament and be with those horrible, horrible judgmental thoughts. And that was obviously horrible for me. I mean, clearly. I mean, that's not going to be good for anybody, ever. And, so it's just learning how to do stuff for you and learning how to love yourself. That was such a huge thing for me. And the biggest change was learning how to do things for you, Just like the yoga, I didn't think it was for me at the start, but now, clearly that's changed. Clearly that's a completely different situation now. I probably will do yoga more. I don't know. I don't know yet, honestly. But a thing that I've been so into doing recently is painting. Editor, throw photo of a painting that I've been doing. And, I've always, loved art and drawing and shit. So, painting, I would, I like doing it. I never did not like doing painting. So, but now that my brain is different, and my brain is just so different, I can just, wake up and, just paint and just do what I want to do. And just have the motivation to do it right off the bat. Which has never been the case for me. Everything used to be a struggle. If I wanted to, work on a homework assignment, I would have to be, literally, it would be a struggle, it would be, an hour and a half, 2 hours of procrastinating, and then I would do the homework assignment. But now, like, most of my days I'm not, like, playing video games until, like, I don't know, like, I want to say, like, 6 p.m., you know? And even now, I'm not even playing video games that much. You guys, don't do it. You did it. But, like, I'm so productive now. Like, I wake up, and if it's a school day, I'll go to classes and everything, and I'll pay attention and I'll learn, and I'll just come out, you know, as, like, productive. And I think last week is when it, like, fully clicked in my head that I have changed. Like, I completely changed. I'm a completely different person than I was in fall term. Like, completely different. And seeing that growth and that change, there's nothing quite like it. Like, I love the person I am now. And it's not egotistical or anything, because, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to love yourself and look in the mirror and not hate yourself. And it's just such an incredible feeling, and I want other people to feel that way. And another thing with the judgmental, a big thing that changed for me too, was near the election. Sorry, this is gonna get a little political. I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm pretty liberal. I'm pretty anti. No, I'm very much more anti-Trump. You know, I very much do not like the guy, not even a little bit. And it was strange because I remember having a conversation with my buddy August, and he was like, he's also not for Trump, by the way. I just want to clarify. But he, like, posted something on his Instagram story where it was like, you know, politics doesn't mean you can't be friends with people, yada yada, yeah, you know, like, you can't still be friends with people even if they have different politics than you. And I agree, and still kind of it's, you know, I'm still growing. I'm not 100% there yet, but, like, his take was, I could have just been anybody, right? And, like, you could just be, the only reason I am me is because I've been me my whole life. Every single action and thing that has happened to me has shaped me in a way that has became me being me, you know? And that's the only reason why I am me. I know I said me like 9 times, but, you know. And that's just such a thing that people, I don't think, really acknowledge, is you never know what's going on in someone's head. You never know why they are the way they are. You never know what caused them to be that way. You know? Like, again, like I was in a public speaking class, and I remember a person made a persuasive speech on how, you know, God's, you know, real and evolution's fake, and why everyone should be, you know, into evolution, or not into evolution because it's, you know, fake and malarkey and scientists are lying to us. And I remember hearing that, and I was like, wow, this is like literally the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, this is just so unbelievably stupid. But I don't know why that girl was the way that she is. You know, I don't know why she believes that. And instead of judging and just instantly be on the offensive and be like, wow, this girl is a moron, and she has like nothing of quality, you know, because of this one stupid opinion. Like, where is my grace? You know, like, I don't know why she was like that, and I never will. So, how is it fair for me to judge? You know, and I think that's a little bit of a bad example, because, like, I still, you know, my mentality now is I want to give people a chance, but, you know, the Trump supporters and everything, I'm still, again, I'm very anti-Trump, and if anyone has, like, a different opinion in the, who's watching this video, I mean, I'd love to talk to you about it, or whatever. and, you know, like actually have like a peaceful conversation. I don't want to argue with anybody. Just like tell me why you think that. And I don't actually expect to talk to anybody, but you know, whatever. But you just never know why, you know. And with specifically people who support him, it's like it's still, you know, it's still hard for me to look over that. But I think the difference is now I understand how people could get there, you know? Like, if I was just born... Oh, shit, dude. This is big. Sorry. If I was born in a different family, and my parents are super liberal, too, like, if I was born in a different family who, you know, are hardcore conservatives and are into that side of the spectrum and everything, then I could have very easily fallen down that echo chamber. Like, that very easily could have been something... Come on, dude. Get hit by my... Dude, did I just miss every single... Okay, I got him. Oh, shit. I forgot I don't get the item unless I... Oops. I'm dead. No, I'm not. Oh, shit. Sorry. I could have fallen down that rabbit hole, though, and become... I mean, excuse my French, but a fascist, you know? Also, that's not French. I think I use that phrase, like, completely different. Like, that's not how that works. It's whatever. But it's just... I see so many liberals and, like, people nowadays who are, you know, very pro-everything and pro, like, loving each other and everything. But then they don't give any grace to people who are like that. And, like, you know, I say that because I was one of those people. Like, if any of my friends, like, even, like, remotely like Trump or anything, I wouldn't have been their friend. And I just didn't have grace. And I didn't understand that people are just so inherently different, you know? Like, especially since Trump's campaign was so, like, on, like, you know, like, going for people who, like, need a better... Because inflation's, like, a huge thing right now, and they just needed a better, like, way to live. Like, they didn't have a good way to live. So it makes complete sense why someone in that state would vote for someone who's promising a better economy, right? Like, that makes complete sense. And who am I to just completely disown that fact? And it's just the lack of grace and, you know, love that I think was really putting me down for a long time. It's just the same thing with the, you know, the being just, what is it? Hold on, I'm really struggling here. Being, what the fuck is the word? I'm sorry. Wow. I'm gonna have to cut, like, all this out. It was, being judgmental. There we go. I'm gonna re-say that. Being judgmental. Yeah. Ooh, this is good, guys. Alright, this is how you get the flinkses. Oh, shit. But yeah, you know, it's just... I think that's, like, such a big thing that so many people struggle with nowadays, is that no one gives each other grace anymore. Especially when people deserve that grace. You know? I will never understand why anyone does anything that they do because I am not in their shoes. That bastard took my gold coin. And once I've realized that everyone is just so inherently different and so unique and special in their own ways, it's allowed me to love myself more and just to do shit for me. And I'm really proud that I've gotten to that point, you know? And honestly, I think that's a good first episode. I don't know, I'm kind of running out of shit to talk about. But that's kind of like the intro. Alright, well, there's going to be hopefully an episode every week. I might play a little bit off camera because I like this game a lot. And just like spruce up everything. Maybe get the flinks for, you know. But yeah, I got to edit this video now. So, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And really love yourself, you know? Cut yourself some slack. You guys are probably incredible people. I don't know who you guys are, but you're doing the best that you can.